We are Maidstone. Maidstone Radio.
Welcome back, I'm Cassie, this is Sunday Brunch. I've got Anneke, who is a co-creator of a birthing app called My Mindful Midwife with me today. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Cassie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for joining me. I'm really pleased to have you on the show. I've only communicated with you by email before now, so it's good to talk in person.
Absolutely, you're right. It's very different, isn't it? Hearing somebody's voice rather than, you can make up your own sort of mind on email as to what somebody sounds like.
Yeah, brilliant. So we're talking about My Mindful Midwife. You mentioned you're one of 3 creators on the app.
Absolutely. So yeah, the main components are myself, obviously being a midwife, and Emily Anna, who is a hypnobirthing teacher, and then the sort of silent person in it all is another person called Sarah, and she's the PR guru of it all, and obviously has a keen interest in motherhood and pregnancy, because I started a business with her called Komu initially, to support women in the 4th trimester, so all to do with things postnatal, breastfeeding, all of those sorts of things.
And what makes My Mindful Midwife different from other birthing apps? Is it mostly pre-birth as well?
Very good question. Yeah, so My Mindful Midwife is an app it basically uses the hypnobirthing techniques alongside information from myself as a midwife. So it's sort of like a pregnancy tracker, hypnobirthing. It's an antenatal tool as well as to be used during the actual birth of somebody's baby. So whether they're having an abdominal birth, so a cesarean section, or they're having physiological birth, so a vaginal birth, it's there to support you sort of with the form of birth relaxations, contraction timer. So I should probably, I'm probably rather mincing my words here, but I should probably go through the parts of the app, if that's okay, Cassie.
No, that's great. Love to hear about it.
So one part of it is called weeks. So that's where we have sort of, depending what gestation one is in the pregnancy, so week 14, 15 and so on, there's a little bit of information about what's going on in the woman's body, like how the baby is growing, and there's also information about what's happening to the woman's body. And then there's another section, a little tab called contacts, so that's where people can input the sort of number of their hospital triage, the name of their midwife or obstetrician, all alongside things like the contacts they're going to use for looking after their children, so you can all compartmentalise and have it at the touch of a button. There's another section called relax, and this is the section which is very, very led by Em, and it's got lovely birth visualizations, like positive visualizations and relaxation for the woman and for her birth partner to help them be in the best frame of mind for giving birth, however that is. Then there's another little section called prepare, and this section can differ depending on if you're having an abdominal birth, the cesarean section, or if you're having physiological birth. So I talk the woman or the couple through what will happen on the day of having their cesarean section, their abdominal birth, and what most likely to expect if you toggle it to abdominal birth, whereas if you've toggled it to physiological birth, I will talk them through what are the early signs of labour, how they can best cope at home, how to distinguish between Braxton Hicks and contractions. So those 4 components are in both sets of whether you choose abdominal birth or physiological birth. And there's one more section called the timer, so the contraction timer if you choose physiological birth, and it's a very simple basically timer log, so you can time your contractions so you know how often they're coming, how long they're lasting, so you know when's the right time to go into either the birth centre, call your midwife for a home birth, or go into the hospital if you're going on to the obstetric unit, and you can personalise it as well.
So it really does take you from beginning to end. And I noticed you said birthing partner as well. It sounds like you've given a lot of thought to like different families and who might be involved. That I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Cassie. That's exactly it. Like it's meant to be accessible to everybody. Whatever our relationship dynamic is, and whatever birth partner we have, it's there to support everybody and anybody. So we've tried to make it as simple in one way as possible, but we've also tried to let people tailor it to their preference as well. They can, like with the timer, you can personalize it with a photo, whatever photo you want to have in the background, whereas for abdominal birth there isn't that section, because obviously that's not applicable for if you're having a cesarean section.
So yeah, it sounds really great, because I imagine that there's so many things you have to keep in your mind when you're going through all this, and it sounds like a file of facts of everything you could possibly need all in one app. There's a focus on hypnobirthing, is there? What is that for people who don't know?
Very good question. So hypnobirthing is it's basically a sort of method to try and help cope with pain, really, or cope with situations that make us maybe feel a bit uneasy or a bit fearful. So the aim of hypnobirthing is to help us let go of any fear and to put us in the best mental frame of mind for having a positive birth experience. So sort of teaching us how to use visualizations, how to use our breathing in order to be as calm and confident throughout the birth of our baby.
It sounds really good. Where can people get it if they want it? How much is it?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you, Cassie, for prompting me. So you can get it on the App Store, or you can get it on Google Play, which is for Android. So both iPhone and Android phones. And yeah, you just type in My Mindful Midwife, and it is £3.99. Available to anybody who wants it. So please, if you're interested, take a look. We really also welcome any feedback on it, because we've only just sort of launched it. It's a new product, and we've tried to really tailor it to hopefully meet people's needs, and we'd also like to know if there's things we can improve on as well.
So that'd be really useful for updates in the future, if because you never know really until lots of people start using things what works and what doesn't, I guess. Is there a website as well with like any other services or
Absolutely. So this is all under the umbrella of there's a website. It's www.mymindfulmidwife.com, and we also have an online course. So the app is for pregnancy and birth. The online course we have is called Mindful Birth Bump and Beyond, and it's basically quite a lot of online content from myself, from Emiliana, and from a lot of other professionals to do with obviously hypnobirthing, pregnancy, place of birth, physiotherapy, postnatal exercises, breastfeeding, basically anything and everything within sort of the first, second, third, fourth trimester. We have got wonderful professionals on board who do audios and videos to basically try and help the pregnancy be as easy as possible, to also give resources if you're having some sort of issue, to give you resources that you can then go and sort of have a look and find out more yourself, and to have it all under, again, one umbrella, so you're not having to go here, there and everywhere to find the information out.
And I imagine this has been really useful for people during lockdown when they haven't been able to have partners with them, sometimes when they're having to go into hospital, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really came into its own during that time, actually, because it gave people the sort of information that they were wanting. And the other thing we do with the course is we have a monthly Zoom meeting with myself and Emiliana and anybody that's on the course. And it's completely optional if people want to attend, but it's been rather lovely because we've had these lovely Zoom calls with people that are attending the course, and any questions that come up. So it's a nice sort of, quite a nice intimate way of any other questions that you have and actually talking to and seeing what other people's experiences are. And I think in lockdown, people found that really, really important because they just weren't getting the same exposure to meeting people.
Yeah, that's really great. And can I just have the website one more time before you go so that we can finish with it?
Absolutely. Sorry, I will slow down. So the website is www.mymindfulmidwife.com.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been lovely to have you on and hear about the app. It sounds like really comprehensive, like a lot of thought gone into it. And good luck with it in the future.
Thank you so much, Cassie. I've thoroughly enjoyed being on. Thank you.
Thank you.